I'm Matthew Proctor. I've been doing marketing and SEO for over 17 years. I currently run a marketing agency called Narrative Bent, and I'm here to answer your marketing questions. Is marketing hard? Short answer, yes. Long answer, definitely yes. Marketing is very challenging, especially now. It's changing constantly with all of this new technology. It's just like a never-ending game of cat and mouse you're playing between the algorithms and how people are responding to your ads, to just generally the tactics you need and the technical skills you need to get things out the door and bring them to market. How can you tell if your marketing is actually working? Somebody back in the Mad Men era of advertising said, 50% of my advertising or marketing spend is wasted. I just don't know which half. As the internet started to take over and it became a lot easier to sort of track users and track people through from your ad to your website, that all became very easy. And then it sort of flipped around, and now it's becoming much harder as platforms pull back due to like data privacy issues or due to just their aggregated power that they're creating. Long story short, if you want to actually know if your marketing is working, the first thing you need to do is create as closely as possible a clear path of your marketing funnel, right? So take SEO, for example. That's kind of a classic one where it's hard to tell if it's working. The first thing you need to do is start measuring what actions are you taking to try to drive that action, right? What changes are you making to the site? How many pages are you adding? How many links are you getting? Start tracking that every month. Then is Google seeing that change? So Google Search Console gives you data like, have they discovered these pages? Are they indexing them? Are they starting to rank? And are they starting to get any sort of impressions? Like, are people seeing them on the search results page? And then are you getting any clicks, right? So if any of those metrics are starting to move up and to the right, your marketing's starting to work. But ultimately what you're trying to get down to is, are you driving the appropriate business actions? So in B2B, that might be, are you creating more pipeline for your sales team? Are you driving qualified leads that they can chase down and actually convert? Are those leads closing, and are they turning into revenue? If you're in e-commerce, that's like, are you driving people into your shopping experience, and are they filling up their cart, and are they actually making purchases, right? You need to try to build a dashboard. It could be as simple as a spreadsheet where every month you track that entire funnel from beginning to end. What actions did you take all the way through to, did it actually turn into money for your business? Does your content actually matter? The answer to this question 5 years ago is probably a little bit different than it is today. And that's mainly the result of artificial intelligence and this kind of push towards the platforms are making towards like zero click. But I will say, nuances aside and all of this kind of craziness that's going on in our industry these days, the bottom line is, yes, your content actually matters. The things that you're putting out into the world always matter, because if people are seeing that, that is the relationship they're starting to build with your business. That's the relationship they're starting to build with your brand, and it's the impression they're going to get. You have to imagine that your content is basically a product of your company. If you're selling laptops, right, you might think, well, I need to have the fastest running laptop. It has to be user-friendly. It has to be kind of sleek and sexy looking. And that's true. All of those things are true with the product. But the thing is, people won't actually hold your product or touch your product for a long time. And so what they are going to hit first is all of the content you've made. They'll see your posts on social media. They'll read your blog. They'll see your website. Like, all of that stuff that's out there in the internet, that's what they're going to be touching and feeling first. And that, whatever they feel when they're consuming that content, is going to be transferred to the product experience. So you could have the most amazing product in the world, that's like a mind-blowing product. If the content you're putting out leading up to that purchase is scummy and shady and kind of gross and doesn't give me a good feeling, it's going to taint the product experience at the end of the day. And so there is that sort of like give and take between the two that you need to consider if you're starting to do content. Is copying best practices the fastest way to stay invisible? Copying best practices is often a cheat code to propel yourself forward, but it's not necessarily the thing that's going to crack open that new area and really accelerate your growth. If you've got a question about marketing, whether it's B2B, B2C, SEO, AI, whatever, drop them in the comments and I'll try to answer them on my next videos.